Hello, everybody. Never have I before realized how many people don't understand that the live stream starts at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's kind of crazy. Give me a second. I think today we have beaten the record of how many times people have messaged confused why the stream hasn't started yet, and like not realizing that the timer is not at 0 yet. Like the countdown. I don't. No, I'm not blaming you guys. No, there's some people even on the crew who didn't understand that it starts at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. More than one. More than one. And I'm just kind of... How long have we been doing this? Alright, there we go.
There you are.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. How's it going? Hello. How's it going?
Hello. Hello, I said hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I do hear it.
All right. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba. Let's see if there's any early on questions while we're waiting for people. Let's see, not a lot of questions. Oh, how are you, the crew? Says Mario Salcado? Mario Salcado. I'm doing good.
Yeah, we're all doing good. How are you?
Loading up the...
it's not loading.
What's not loading?
There we go.
Still working on the animating, huh?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like.
All right. I do want to keep the tabs on this sidebar here, see if we got any questions.
And then we're gonna do a draw off, right?
Well, it's possibly. Mashups to Nate. Remember my idea about Viacom CBS buying Sony Pictures? I do remember it, and I still don't think I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's very unlikely.
There you are, Nick.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Cam plays, dear Nate. How is everything coming along?
Well, you know. I assume you mean with Teenage Robot, which, you know, everything's fine. In in other life, could be better, but whatever.
Yes, our episode 13, we have yet to release a synopsis for it. We're trying to formulate a synopsis or a title, maybe a working title that does not spoil what's gonna happen. Can I smooth this? Like, why is it so high with the eraser? What is going on with my... believe we've mentioned for episode 13, or the episode, final episode of season 4. I believe we've mentioned that it, and it's still true, that it involves melody. But it's just, it's hard to say what goes on in the plot without
Spoiling it?
spoiling it. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's some internal conflict.
well, I think every episode has internal conflict, but yeah. Internal conflict just describes a character struggling to deal with something that they don't want to do, or something similar. Or they're struggling with an aspect of themselves that makes doing something difficult. It's just,
Okay, that sums it up.
Kha'Zix, does Jenny die?
No!
I can.
No, of course not. He just wanted alive.
Death and destruction will rain down on the series. It will be an endless cycle of torment.
Let's not do
The
that.
Earth is all conquered.
We're not doing that. We're just not doing that. We might, but we're not.
Stay tuned.
Let's go, folks.
Not now. Not yet. Next subject.
Maybe this angle isn't really selling it. On a scale of peanut to banana, how intelligent is Jenny? Apples.
Apples.
Inkmaker 2064. Does anyone believe MLaaTR should get a real DVD treatment? By real, I mean a retail release instead of a burn-on-demand DVDRs. It did back in 2000. I want to say 13. They got a DVD release, and they're still available online. Like you can buy the DVDs on Amazon or something. So. Yeah.
So no draw-offs, right?
We're not doing one right now, but we can at some point.
Yeah, we still remember those days.
I am not having a good day with the drawing, am I? Can't get the pose right. Back on the Viacom PSP, I would SPE. I took your opinion on about it tonight and Hart and changed it to idea to Viacom CVS buying just its film divisions, Columbia Pictures and TriStar. I mean, that's more likely than buying in the entirety of Sony Pictures Entertainment, but again, I feel like it's not a thing that would be on the table at all, because I'm fairly certain Sony Pictures Entertainment, I'm fairly certain Columbia, at this point, Columbia Pictures and TriStar together are, I'm fairly certain, a larger company than Paramount. So again, it's still, you got a case of... You still kind of got a case of the smaller dog trying to bite the bigger dog. It's not gonna happen. Especially considering that Sony still owns Spider-Man. That's with an asset like that, I don't think they're going to be selling their property anytime soon. this pose is just. I'm trying to. I guess up there, and then. I don't smash up mashups. I don't think you understand Columbia is Sony. Like that's Sony's division. It's not like it's a separate.
It used to, but
Like I don't know. Like hold on, I'm gonna do a quick little Google search.
it used to, but it kind of changed over time, I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess it started as an independent company, but it seems to. It was. Oh yeah, here we go. It was purchased in 1989 by Sony for about 3.4 billion, and has been underneath that tagline ever since. So it's. In the case of the Teenage Robot season sets currently, once you make an order, Amazon burns the discs instead of them already being made. That's not the case. That's not.
Doesn't sound like a question.
No, it's on the discussion of the DVDs, but that's not how DVDs are made. You don't make a DVD to order. You create a mass-produced set of DVDs, and then you sell those DVDs. It's not, you don't get an order and then they press the DVDs and they send it to you. They don't. It's much like a book release, where a set number of books are made and then are sold. Same goes for pretty much any other thing, the media release. A set number of DVDs are created and then they're sold out. The My Life as a Teenage Robot DVDs, they were made back in what, 2011, 2013, somewhere in there, because that's where the copyright has them. But the DVDs are still available. You can still buy them. They made a lot. They're very widely available. Also on Amazon, you can buy the digital files, or like the digital, you know. on Amazon Prime and Hulu and everything like all that stuff. But you can also buy the DVDs, but they're not made to order. They've already been made. Plants 10,000. Does Tuck believe that the Earth is flat in the reboot, or is it Brad who thinks that? Loaded question.
Next question.
Neither of them believe that. They've been to space, for crying out loud. They know the Earth rotates on an axis and is a spheroid. Pyro Heart. So what happened last week? Do you have move the stream today due to plans? Just basically what happened last week is a bunch of schedule conflicts came up, specifically regarding college life. So just had to be moved. Just had to be pushed back a week. So that could be accounted for.
I knew it was college work.
Well, yeah, I said so last week when it happened.
Uh-huh. Well, I said it first. I still remember it vividly.
Excuse me.
The DVDs, the chat is talking about how the DVDs, you can still buy them.
Oh, you can still buy the DVDs.
Okay,
You
okay,
idiot.
hold on. No, it's not. They're not. Here, hold on.
If you want them on Blu-ray, then that's where we can understand.
Yeah, they're not available for Blu-ray. But to be honest, if they release them on Blu-ray, it's not really a massive leap in quality. It would probably be the same case as the teenage the
DVDs.
the Avatar: Last Airbender Blu-ray release, the Aang's Blu-ray release. The quality didn't change whatsoever between if you bought them digitally or not, because that's like the maximum that was rendered back then. 480p. That was 1080p HD didn't quite exist yet. So I think, in fact, everything was rendered. I'm fairly certain that everything was rendered at 720 HD, but with the 4:3 aspect ratio. I could be wrong though. But like, say they release a Blu-ray release of, I don't know, Danny Phantom or the early seasons of SpongeBob. They got Blu-ray coming out. Unless they physically go back and do something like Batman the animated series, or Batman Beyond, where they go back, find the original cells of the animation, and remaster it.
Of the original for. Okay, so remaster sometimes even also take like the negatives of the film print of the old cartoons back in the day, and then cleaning up eventually.
Yeah. Just making the old picture look cleaner. But even now that I think about it, they can't even do that because Teenage Robot was colored digitally, so there are no cells. So it's kind of so that means they either have to go back and find the original animation in the programs that it was animated or colored in, and re-export them to a higher quality, or they have to completely reanimate everything into a higher quality. That's the only way it would be upgraded to like a higher standard. Otherwise, it's just the digital stuff is as high as it's gonna get, because they're basically just copying over the files that they already have of the series. Mashups. Would you guys ever think about Jenny or Bride developing feelings for each other in a story arc? Well, like we've said so many times before, both sides of the arcs are planned to be covered inside, because it's the whole Jenny versus Brad versus Sheldon thing.
Love triangle.
The love triangle. The fandom is split 50-50 on it, and it's like we gotta tackle it at some point. So, you know, it's just a matter of who ends up with who is up for debate. So,
Trust me, guys, it's endless.
Yeah, it's not looking forward to it.
The suspense is appalling.
Because whoever chooses, we lose.
The suspense is appalling.
Yeah, Samurai Jack got a remaster. That one was a when they released that Blu-ray, it was a remaster. That I can't remember if Samurai Jack was colored digitally.
Samurai Jack was colored digitally, I think.
They had hand-painted backgrounds. I remember that. But yeah, that might have been digital too. I guess you'd have to look into how Samurai Jack did its remaster. Although I'm also questioning if it was actually remastered and if they just upscaled it. Because I went to one of those premieres of the first 4 episodes in theaters, because when they were advertising both season 5 and the complete collection, you know, Blu-ray, blah blah blah. And to be honest, maybe it was just because it was on a giant screen, but the animation looked like it was kind of early 2000s, you know, kind of the same. I mean, granted, I'm not saying Samurai Jack looks bad. It's beautiful animation, everything like that. Love Gennady Tartakovsky. I'm just saying in terms of, like, you compare the season 1 quality to season 5, and it's like, it's clear that one was animated when the standard quality was 480p, and that nowadays the standard quality is 1080p. You know, it's like there's a clear difference.
Season 5 came out in 2017.
Yep.
And it was aired on Adult Swim.
Yep.
Which is under the impression of gory graphics and nudity and stuff. And innuendos. Yep.
What? That's not Adult Swim.
You have no idea.
I watch a lot of Adult Swim animation. That's not particularly what you instantly think of. I mean, granted, I would say there's probably a lot of gore action stuff on Adult Swim, but I can't say there's a bunch of nudity.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Especially because when there is quote unquote nudity, it's censored nudity, so it's not really. It's not real. Then you can't. I mean, the character would be naked, but I mean, you can't really say that's nudity in the same sense as you can say, I don't know, nudity in a rated R movie where it's not censored. You see.
Sorry about that.
Speaking of Tartakovsky, has anyone seen Primal? Pyro Heart
I've
says
heard of it.
it's great. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows, and there's only 5 episodes in.
And Steven Universe Suture is returning with 10 new episodes, which fits the 20 episode standards on Cartoon Network.
And apparently, it's the last episodes of Steven Universe we will ever see.
Yeah.
Because it is ending after those episodes. So
Oh my gosh, he's canceling.
it kind of feels like no, it's not canceling. It's just ending because it's like season 5 already had the finale with Change Your Mind, and then they had a finale movie with it's an actual musical movie,
And now
they have 10
limited
20 episodes of
the limited series that'll end the franchise.
yeah.
Oh, I understand. Because I never watched the Steven Universe in my life.
I feel guilty of this too. I hadn't watched Steven Universe at all. I've only heard of it from any remix of it from Blue Jay Mix, for example. That's the only thing I know about Steven Universe. But I also know like the fans are like the reputation and the fans are just big.
Yeah, there's a very large fandom base. I would say if you ever want to get into watching Steven Universe, you know what someone really needs to do? Someone needs to make a Steven Universe like list of essentials. Because the major problem Steven Universe had was there was so many filler episodes. So much filler.
Yeah.
A lot of fans will like to defend it where it's like no, it's not filler, it's all character development. It's now that we know a lot of the big time spoilers about what happens in Steven Universe and what the main plot of the series was concerning Steven's mother and everything like that. There's a lot of filler. So I would recommend if you ever want to get into watching Steven Universe, I would say I would look for a list that lays out the plot-driven episodes to avoid the filler. Because a lot of the times the worst episodes are the ones with a lot of the filler episodes make up the majority of the worst episodes.
Like Kindergarten Kid, which is a parody of Roadrunner show on Looney Tunes. You should have seen it. It's lame. Widely lame. And I'm butting in, sorry.
Captain Alejandro, what would be the rating of Reboot PG?
Parental guidance.
Which I think is still an upgrade between what the original series was. It's I believe the original series was TVY. I'm fairly certain. The basic rule for our rating system is basically if it can be shown on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, it can be shown in our series. So basically Adult Swim not included. That's different, but normal Cartoon Network and normal Nickelodeon, if it can be shown on there, we let it happen in this series. That's the general rule.
Mm-hmm.
How do you draw this position?
you need help with it?
Well, I'm just the Sierra is supposed to be hanging on Jenny's arm right here, and I'm just like, I'm still trying to debate if like in my head that like this is the best pose to display this, because you know she gets picked up and she's like oh, and then. And I just realized I'm live streaming on YouTube, but I forgot to show my screen to everybody on the Discord call, didn't I? Yep. There we go. Could have been worse. It could have been a black screen for literally all the people out there, and could have been streaming to you guys on Discord. Oops.
I'm gonna screen share my screen as well.
Yeah, regular show was pretty good. I never got into Adventure Time, but I hear that was a pretty good series too. Well, yeah, GCN Elite TV 15 wouldn't be not safe for work. It would just deal with more mature themes. Yeah, that's pretty much definition of TV 15, TV 14. It's not. Because by definition, not safe for work means it's like 18 plus and not safe for work. Basically, if you can show it to your colleagues, it's safe for work. If you can't, it's not safe for work.
Like that Zone Samba parody. Is that too much?
Brad, Storm Shadow 210. Oh, wait, it's not a question. I thought that was a question. My bad. Jimmy Neutron might be coming back? What?
What the? Ugh.
I'd be surprised. The company that made it kind of went bankrupt. Have you ever compared MLaaTR and Danny Phantom? Everyone take a shot! Danny Phantom and Teenage Robot. Short answer, yes. It gets brought up a lot in these streams to the point of, as mentioned, we can make a drinking game out of it.
Please have some water or milk and not
Yeah, let's do water.
alcohol.
Well, yeah, drink responsibly, of course. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Scroll this down. The nature of rectangular screens means I can only...
Oh, hello.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna try and get this going on the stream too.
So basically, you're adding a window capture.
Yeah.
I'm doing something so that way I can help you out with this thing, you know, Nate, because I got it screenshotted and I'm just...
Come on, why isn't it? OBS is being stupid.
My OBS is fine.
I'm talking about the one I'm using right now. It's being a little stupid. Just give me a minute. Load. Why won't you load? Is this it? I got it? Yeah, just gotta resize it now. Okay. Kind of hard to see when there's a bunch of black space, but I got it.
Oh, there we go. Now I can see my screen on you.
Would the billboard from the animatic make a reappearance in a future episode? Probably not. It's just a throwaway billboard. It'll say something stupid and then you'll never see it again. I don't think. And it's literally a throwaway billboard. It's not there. There's a pun in that. Captain Alejandro, what software do you use to animate the show? Depends on who you ask. There's a lot of people using different things.
Yeah,
I use
Toon Boom Harmony.
Yeah, I use Toon Boom Harmony. Some people here use Adobe Animate. 3D is done in Blender. Some people use
Blender can do 2D as well.
It can. I don't think it was built for it though. I think it's more so built for 3D. Some people here use OpenTunes. There's also a lot of other 2D programs, out there. I think that's all we use, though. Oh, Krita. Someone uses Krita, I think. Although that one I would completely recommend just going for a different animation software because Krita is more like Photoshop. It's more so built for images. It can animate, but and Photoshop can animate too, but both of them are built for photo manipulation and drawing, GCN Elite, does the new actor for XJ9 actually sound like her? Yes. It's actually kind of scary. I can't show a clip, but rest assured it sounds pretty on the nose.
GCN Elite asked it again. Would Jenny ever visit Cluster Prime again?
She has to at some point. Not in season 4, but put it on the tabs for season 5. That's something we have to do. We have to go say hi to Vega again. That's something we literally have to wrap up. So eventually.
I think I posted something that might help you out with the pose a little bit better. It's in the meeting chat.
Alright, I'll take a look. Kind of. She's got to be holding on with 2 hands, though. I know what you're going with that. That's a nice pose for if she would be like shocked, like, oh, she's got to like drop off. But right now she's just hanging on with 2 hands. I think the positions. I'm gonna make the camera closer. It's gonna be like over the shoulder. Oh, but that doesn't sell that she stood up. Ah! On a scale of 1 to 10, how accurate are the VA for the other characters? Friended Goji 04. Depends on who you're talking about. If we're talking about Jenny specifically, I would probably give it an 8 or 9. It's pretty damn close. Oh, the question in the reboot. Smash 'em Up mashups reboot. If it were, we'd have a different art style and character personalities. It's simply a fan follow-up. Yep. It's a play on words, though. A reboot, basically, it can describe a number of things in the television industry, or in television film industry. A reboot is essentially when you take... There's I'm sure there's a bunch of things racing in my head right now. Okay, a remake is when you take the exact same thing and just remake it. New actors, new music, new things. But it's essentially the same story, and that's what a remake is. You can see a remake. What's a good comparison of a remake is when it's I'm trying to think of a remake that doesn't suck. Hold on. That's what because a common remake is like what you got. The original Psycho in the 1950s, not 1950s. When was the original Psycho made? Wait, was it 1950s? Oh, 1960. Yeah, that was it. Okay. So you got the 1960 Psycho, the awesome one, and then you got the 1998 Psycho, and that one was a complete remake, and it sucked. But that's not to say that remakes inherently suck. There's I'm trying to think of good remakes. Oh, okay. The Thing, the original. It's weird to say the original Thing, but the original Thing is that one was from the 1950s. I think that's where I got.
No, it's
Yes.
1980.
Yes, no. The Thing from Another World is a black and white 1951 movie. That was the original The Thing, and then in the 1980s, they remade it. It's basically the same plot, but with completely new cast of characters and everything like that. And that's a remake. A reboot is when you take a property that already exists. You don't necessarily remake it. You give it a new story, a new spin.
Now it's Chris.
It's like, and it's basically taking the property and putting it in the limelight again. There's so many examples of reboots out there. Let's see. You got Godzilla 2014. That was a reboot.
Now the thing is
Star Trek 2011. That was a reboot.
2009.
Oh, 2009. My bad. A few years off.
It takes place in a different timeline. You know that.
I know.
Right?
I know. I'm saying it's a reboot. It is a reboot. And then you got the basic. A sequel. Where it's the original property is still in canon, or it follows is in the same universe as this new property, and it's just following it up. Everyone knows what a sequel is. Ours series is technically a sequel. It is, but the reason why it is called a reboot, because in the computer world, is when you reboot something, you essentially, in a nutshell, in the computer world, when you reboot something, is that you turn it on and off again. You can you also load things onto it and like give it back its original processor, reboot the original processor, you know. But that's essentially that's why it's a play on words, because it's because Jenny's a robot. So My Life as a Teenage Robot rebooted. It's referring to the fact that it's coming back.
What about Tron?
It's referring to the fact that Teenage Robot is coming back, you know, like it's being quote unquote rebooted, or it's being made a sequel, and it's referring to the fact that Jenny is a robot, and it's like a robot. The show is being rebooted. It was turned off and now it's flipped on again. You know, that's the play on words. And it gives it a nice little handle to refer it to. You can easily say, My Life as a Teenage Robot is a very long title. My Life as a Teenage Robot Rebooted is an even longer title. But to refer to the different series, now you got the original series and Rebooted. You can just refer to Teenage Robot Rebooted as Rebooted, you know? Befriended Goji, this might be a weird question, but do you think there would be any reference to King Kong or any other old school monster movie in general? I live and breathe monster movies, so there is probably a reference somewhere in the scripts. That being said, I can't say off the top of my head specifically what's referenced and what's not, but there's probably a reference in there somewhere. I just can't remember anything specific. Will the episodes be completed and then premiered one by one, or will the episodes just be released when they're done? The episodes, when they're all done, would be released in a one by one format. It's
like
week after week. We're not. Yes, so it's like we finish making all the episodes and then we start releasing the episodes one by one.
Week by week.
Yes. Well, not actually we every 2 weeks, but yes.
Okay. Sounds fair.
But yeah, it's MLaaTR MLAAR. No, it's not even that right either. MLAATR. That's still hard to say. It's easier to type, obviously, but it's to say it in conversation. It's kind of hard. So it's easier to just say when referring to Teenage Robot Rebooted, just either say that. Teenage Robot Rebooted.
Fast.
Nathan,
What's up?
my screen from your YouTube stream is frozen out.
What about it?
My screen from your YouTube stream is frozen.
OBS is probably doing crazy shtick.
Yeah, crazy.
Try to keep the window active on the Discord.
Are you?
Is the frames dropping?
You're saying your screen is frozen? You're saying your screen is frozen?
That's
Yeah,
what
my
he said?
screen is frozen. When I'm seeing from your YouTube stream.
Let's see. I'm still seeing Jenny's torso. So are you? Is that what we're looking at?
And yes, and this needs to be updated.
Is the okay? So maybe OBS is dealing with frame drops, like the frame rate dropping every now and then.
That's possible.
No, it's frozen because the window
Eddie.
is inactive. Yes.
Eddie, no. It's probably a film rate drop on OBS's part from Nathan's side of things.
Yeah, hold
but
on.
A few minutes, it's still the same frame.
Because right now, it's showing what you're seeing. Like I'm watching the YouTube thing right now. It's got Jenny's torso on screen.
Let me try to move around that line over there.
It's gonna be a little bit of a delay, though.
Yeah, give it a little bit of delay.
See, I pop up then, and then.
No, yeah, there it goes. Yeah, there you go, moving the line. You're fine.
Must be because apparently it's Nathan's side of things. It's probably because of frame rate drops.
Yeah, there's a latency.
That was a giant latency.
Yeah, that's just how YouTube live streams. There's a delay.
But, trust me, it was the OBS though. Like if I'm gonna minimize the window that is the source of the OBS, it freezes out. But when I window, It definitely works.
I'm failing to see what you're trying to say here.
All right. All right. So I'm going back to work. Yeah, now it works fine though.
Hmm. You'd actually be surprised how difficult rotoscoping can be. It's
Yeah.
You get the movement down easily, but what becomes hard is
Animating it.
no, that's the animation part is easy because you're just tracing over what's happening on screen already. You're just rotoscoping is literally tracing over live action film. But what's difficult is applying those live action proportions to the disproportionate characters. For instance, Teenage Robot. Everybody, well, not everybody, but most people on Teenage Robot have very large heads and kind of tiny torsos and very long limbs. Good example, Jenny, it's right here. Literally, her entire torso is the size of her head. Usually, the normal rule for proportions when you're drawing a real life person is one torso, including the neck, equals 4.5 heads. So, say my head there is there. I would, I missed the 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's their entire torso, basically. It's a general rule. It doesn't apply to all walks of life, but that's the general rule of proportions for like real life people. Meanwhile, Teenage Robot 1 head equals 1 torso. So obviously rotoscoping an entire person's movements onto a Teenage Robot character would be very difficult because it's not exactly you can like trace over the head and be like, hey, there they go moving, but then you know the proportions are completely different to the character. So it's when you do rotoscoping, what usually people go for is they're going for characters that are that already meet the proportions of a real life person. A lot of Disney animation, for instance. Alice in Wonderland had a lot of rotoscoping. 101 Dalmatians had a crap ton of rotoscoping.
Like so the car?
So much rotoscoping in 101 Dalmatians. Don
also use rotoscoping.
I don't know if did Don Bluth do rotoscoping? He has a very specific style of animation. And I mean like not only just like in terms of drawing, but I mean in terms of movement. I don't know if Don Bluth ever did rotoscoping. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
Rotoscoping can be sometimes easier, like you're tracing from a 3D model.
Oh yeah, no, he did. My bad. He did do some rotoscoping. I was more so thinking about his non-human characters. I don't think there was any rotoscoping in those. But yeah, I guess for Anastasia, he did some rotoscoping. And the Secret of Nim, maybe with the human characters. I can't remember though if he did.
Here's the example of something. Like drawing something from a 3D model. You know.
Yes, that's the same technique. Like I posted on the live chat
like
as well.
The normalizer alignment.
I don't know if that's the. I mean, that's definitely a technique. I don't know if that's rotoscoping specifically, though. Rotoscoping usually applies to real life, like using live action footage. That is that what you're describing, converting 3D into 2D, you know, by tracing over it, like rotoscoping. I believe there is a specific term for it that's not rotoscoping.
I finally got the word, but it just slipped away.
There are different techniques of rotoscoping. One is translating from live action to 2D, like you're recoloring and stuff. And the other one is when you're putting a character into another background without using a green screen. But it's really complex.
Yeah. But like I said, both of those are both of those describe using a live action element. And that's in terms of, because like what? Rotoscoping in the visual effects industry, it's different to rotoscope animation. Rotoscoping in the visual effects industry is when you, frame by frame, paint out a live action character to a new background, like you described. And I've done a few rotoscoping, and it's hell. It is absolute hell. But the point is that it usually involves the live action element in some shape or form. I don't know if describing rotoscope animation is accurate when you say that the base is a 3D animation rather than just a live action film or a live action video. I believe that I'm not denying that is a technique that some people use. That's a real thing. But I don't think that qualifies as rotoscope animation. she's standing up. I guess. I don't know. I'm iffy about this frame. I don't like the posing. Because it's like it's framed like an over-the-shoulder shot, which would work a lot better if the camera went right up close and tight. But that won't display the point of her being picked, of Jenny standing up. Another way to do it would mean like having Sierra right here and Jenny like up here, and it's like she's hanging from the arm, and that's too big. Jenny's like they're here. But that's really similar to a shot that just comes right before it. I'm trying to change it up. Maybe, but you know what? Maybe it would be the same shot, but maybe it would work better. You'd get the point across. Yeah, probably would, because this shot really only works if it's a close up. Ugh, I'm not having a good drawing day.
Hold on, guys. I will be right back.
Of course.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da. this pose is automatically working better, I think. This is going to work much better.
Alright, now I'm back.
All right.
Alright, so Nathan, now you can rewatch my stream now.
Oh, you literally closed it?
Yeah, I closed for a while.
Oh, okay. Chewing.
Yeah, actually.
No, chewing. Someone's saying there's chewing.
Chewing. I don't
It's
see any
real.
chewing, bro.
It seems relaxing, right?
I don't recall any chewing. I mean chewing like someone's eating. Is someone eating?
Ah, chili pepper. Yeah, that's my Sheldon so far.
Ooh.
think it's someone saying somebody's microphone is messed up.
Who?
I don't know.
I hear chewing. Why didn't I notice chewing before? The sounds from the microphone so much. As if someone is chewing. It's like snipping. This ain't chewing, it's snipping.
Hold on. What's snipping? What are you saying is snipping?
Someone said that there's chewing involved, like the sound of chewing, but I hear it's snipping of scissors. It's the only way I could describe it. Wait a minute.
Oh, I think is someone like tapping something then?
Maybe? I don't know.
Hold on,
Wait
I can watch the audio peaks and then just like see what's happening.
It's my pen. I could hear my voice from through your
Yeah,
sounds.
I'm always hearing some clicking noises.
All right, so if it's your pen, do you got your pen close to the microphone?
I'm on my iPad.
Well, yeah. Are you?
I'm just drawing something.
Oh, all right. So hang on. Are you using Discord on your iPad and then also drawing on your iPad?
Yes.
All right, then that'd be the source of the clicking. The microphone can hear every time you hit the screen because the microphone is in the screen. It'd be equivalent if I got my microphone on my desk here. If I were to start tapping it, you can hear those taps.
It's a little obvious, yes.
So a solution would be to like, if you want to continue using like drawing on your iPad, you could use your computer for Discord and then use the iPad for drawing, you know, and then that would eliminate the taps.
Yeah, I know.
I automatically like this pose better. I'm already much more happy with this. In fact, can I just make it easier on myself and just like select this whole thing and Command C and Command V, shrink it down to scale. I have to reposition the body, but I think that might work. I can just redraw it. Eh.
Hmm.
I like it. I like it. So now we got a full sequence as
Are you saying it's complete?
Hey. What?
They're saying it's complete? The sequence
No,
is complete?
no. There's one more segment, and then in this scene, and then it would be complete. Scene. I thought the animatic preview was done, Builderman says. This isn't for the animatic preview. You guys already saw the animatic preview. This is for the actual animatic. This is the entire thing. The scene just doesn't end when the billboard flies into the camera. There is an entire sequence that comes after, when Jenny flies down and, all that jazz. Scene isn't over. So it's like it continues on. So I'm just trying to draw the remainder of that scene, and then after I'm done drawing the remainder of that scene, I can add it to the overall animatic, and then it would be like, that much closer to being actually done with the animatic for the episode, All right, hang on. Now you're saying the Spider-Man the new animated series might do a season 2. First you said Jimmy Neutron's might be coming back. Now you're saying the Spider-Man the new animated series might be coming back. Where are you getting this? I want to know, because I want to look up this.
Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me it's from that fake psych. We got it covered. Trust me. Those pathetic dissing live action remakes of stuff is
because that was like the new animated series was like I watched the new animated series. That it was very limited though. It was Eddie, I want to point out your screen is currently black.
Yeah, I disabled the layers out there. But when I enable it, now you can have my screen back. I just basically toggling at the view layers.
Except it's black though. Oh. I'm guessing like the video is just like delayed. There we go.
No, don't worry about it. I just disabled some of the layers out of the OBS. So there's nothing wrong with my stream.
An animation. Oh, okay. They want to do it. It's not okay. That's not the same. A studio quotes tweeting out to someone saying they want to do it, they want to come back, is different from them actually coming back. That's like a good example. Rob Renzetti. He has said multiple times that he would love Teenage Robot to come back. Is that indication that it is coming back, Nickelodeon? No. That's just the creator saying he'd love for it to do it again. He'd love for it to return. But it's like, that's not the same as it actually coming back, you know? Alright, so now I just gotta have Sierra jump down, ask Jenny to talk, and then end scene. That's it. And then I'm gonna be done with this flippin' scene that's been taking so long to do. In fact, yeah, I'm fairly certain that series was canceled because they decided to release Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man, the new animated series. Because it followed the continuity. It's like a different continuity to Spider-Man, like the first live-action movie. The Sam Raimi. That series was made as if that was the series was Spider-Man 2, but then they decided, you know what, let's just make Spider-Man 2 the movie, and that came out in 2004.
You're boring, mistress. Why?
What's going on this time?
Oh,
Yeah.
MCP is just calling the live stream a little boring. Right, I agree. We don't have a lot going on right now, but you know, I'm working on this is behind the scenes stuff right here. It's like I'm working on an actual episode here, so it's.
What are we? Are we boring?
Builderman 54321. It's BA is using his iPad for Discord and to draw on. So when he taps with his pen on the iPad, it picks up the tapping noise.
What's on?
Nobody is currently working on a soundtrack. I
think Eddie's just working on something on his own.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't even realize.
I
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I was the one who made that intro for the live stream.
Mm-hmm. That is something I could load up right now if we wanna. If you want to see me work on something different, although we only do have 10 minutes left. I haven't worked on it in a while, but the score for the intro.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to just switch out of the window. Because I'm actually using an OBS preview window. So I'm gonna switch into an actual window of the DAW. And there we go. And now you can actually hear the desktop audio. You can rejoin now, Nathan. All right. Now I'm gonna do a test audio to see if you can actually hear the desktop audio. So there we go. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear the echoes.
Oh, very good, very good. Can you hear it, Nick?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I hear the drum beats.
very well. Now.
What's going on in the chat? Thoughts
Me?
in the chat? Some discussion on Misty, but I can't.
Misty is gay.
Misty being gay?
What?
All right.
Someone turned into Chewbacca.
Anyway, easy, Nick. Easy, Nick.
Jeez, Nick.
Well, Jenny is obviously straight because we've been with her for a while. Misty, I think, is kind of an open book. We can't. Can't quite say what she is because we've never seen her be interested in people. Meanwhile, Jenny, we've seen her swoon over boys, so it's very clearly that she's straight. But Misty, don't know. We'll have to develop that in when she comes back for season 5. I mean, Misty's only been in 3 episodes total of Teenage Robot, and none of them she showed any signs of what her sexuality is.
One of the most selfish people of the whole wide series. So selfish, it just makes you sick.
I wouldn't call her. It wouldn't. She just wants to be paid if she's gonna rescue people.
Like a bounty hunter, right?
I would describe it more like a fireman or a policeman, who are also people who get paid for helping people. But okay, if you want to say bounty hunter, that's one way of looking at it.
Just making my point.
In fact, the ironic thing is that it's Jenny who's honestly being the one who's a little actually kind of doing an illegal thing, since vigilantism is actually pretty illegal.
Like Batman.
Yeah.
No wonder why the police are chasing him.
Yeah, it's vigilantism. It's illegal.
And Spider-Man.
Yeah.
J.
Whole
Jonah
shebang.
Jameson is calling him out.
That's what makes it interesting, because the cops and people would be just as delighted as catching Batman, Spider-Man, etc. as some of the bad guys would. That's where the drama comes from.
Sweet tense of suspense.
And then it gets even more interesting when like some cops and people decide to help some of the superheroes, and now it's like, oh, now they're risking their badge to help the superhero. It's like, oh, drama.
Oof. Where did that principle go? It's like, where'd that principle go?
I wonder if I can just keep it in the same shot.
I mean, why do we even have to sympathize on vigilantism? Even though
I don't think it's not sympathizing with vigilantes. It's sympathizing with the other aspects of their character. Like nobody sympathizes with Batman because he's a crime fighting superhero swinging along Gotham on a grappling hook, and no one sympathizes with Spider-Man because he's climbing walls and fighting crime. They sympathize with both of them because Batman is someone dealing with a lot of internal struggles with his
trauma.
parents and trauma with his parents being murdered in front of him, and this is how he coops with that. And Spider-Man is dealing with everyday teenager troubles of trying to go to school and get a job
avenging Uncle Ben.
Well, that's the reason why he's being Spider-Man. That's why he's being Spider-Man. But what people empathize with him is the struggles that he goes through on a daily basis. That's why he's very much regarded as the best superhero of all time currently. Not the most powerful superhero of all time. That's clearly Superman. But in terms of, and I say that with the grounds of, in terms of comics and movies and stuff and all that stuff, Spider-Man beats Batman and Superman in terms of sales, bar none. Like, if you compare the sales of Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, Spider-Man eats both of them for breakfast and spits them out. Spider-Man is by far the most popular superhero of all time.
Eating losers for breakfast is like a metaphor, you know? Forget that metaphor. Just don't take it literally.
We might be running close on time.
Yeah, we're about ready to wrap up here, but just want to wrap up this shot if I can.
And now no one knows for sure whether it's Steven or not, but whether or not Steven is going to corrupt or something like that.
I doubt it. They've shown that corruption introduces a lot of permanent aspects, and I think it's more so Steven is going to be dealing with whatever this pink power is, and learn to cope with that. I don't think it's going to be corruption. There we go.
But what if the theorists on the corrupted Steven was right, and
What? What song?
nothing. Never mind. I didn't say anything about a song.
You said era song?
Sorry, you must have misheard.
Oh, what did you say?
I said, where have the theorists on corrupt
Oh.
Steve were right?
Oh, well, I think it's a what if, but I'm fairly certain that the theorists are wrong. I don't think he's going to get corrupted at all. I think it's just he's just going to be dealing with these powers of that Pink Diamond had. If Nathan is wrong about Steven Universe Future, then he's got to eat his shirt live on stream. If Nathan gets corrupted, he has to eat his shirt live on stream.
He'll kiss us full on the mouth.
You know what? I'll do. You know what? If I'm wrong, I won't. If I'm wrong, I won't eat my shirt, but I'll eat chocolate live on stream. That's
Okay, that's a good idea.
and that sounds. And for those who like chocolate, that's a punishment for me because I do not like chocolate.
It is a good point. Wait, what? You allergic?
No, I'm not allergic. I just don't like the taste.
Oh.
Come
Well, it's a good
on!
thing you're going to that chocolate factory.
Sounds like you have a diet.
No, I eat I like
Sounds
vanilla.
like you have a diet.
No, I like vanilla. No, my thing is I just like vanilla. I like that's the flavor I like.
I like vanilla as well.
No, I like it. I just don't
like vanilla as well. No, really, I like it.
I just
like it
don't
too.
like the taste. No, I'm just saying I don't like the taste of chocolate.
I was
Why
talking
don't
about
you
vanilla.
like the taste of chocolate?
I don't like the aftertaste. It leaves a weird aftertaste, and I don't like it.
Drink milk or something to go down with it.
Maybe, but at the same time, I could just be eating something vanilla and then also having a glass of milk to down it with. It's like, and vanilla doesn't leave the aftertaste.
It's coca. A coca bean.
Well, that's where, yeah, I know, that's where chocolate comes from. Coca bean. I just don't like the taste of it. Which is ironic. It's ironic because, although this isn't really chocolate. You can't really, it's, Oreos. I like Oreos. But, a lot of people even say that that's a different type of, it's hard to say, call that chocolate. They got their own little formula for that.
Cookies and cream.
Yeah, I like that.
You know?
I like that flavor. I like that flavor. You know, I should clarify. It's not like I don't like the taste of chocolate when it's the primary flavor. I like chocolate strawberries, in which you take strawberries, you dip them in chocolate, and you eat that. I like that, but that's because strawberry is the main flavor, and chocolate's kind of like a topping. It's not the main flavor of that, you know. If you were to ask me to eat like a Hershey's chocolate bar, I wouldn't want to, because it's primarily chocolate.
MCP isn't even tiny, and you're going insane for not liking chocolate.
I'll eat I have leftover chocolate from Valentine's Day. So if Steven Universe gets corrupted, I will eat chocolate live on stream. I will, because I do not like the taste of chocolate. All right, we better wrap up here. We're going over. Thank you guys for coming down to this live stream. The next live stream, if nothing comes up, I know last week something came up. If nothing comes up this month, the next live stream will be on March 29th. So yeah. So see you guys on the public Discord and stuff. Thank you everybody out there for coming down. I haven't seen any last minute questions, so all right. See you guys.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Goodbye.
All right, see ya.
All right. See ya.